The sudden appalling and unexpected tragedy that pushed Queen Elizabeth II into a new era was the shocking death of her father King George VI. On the night of February 5, 1952, the 25-year-old Princess Elizabeth was staying at a remote tree-top lodge in Kenya during a Commonwealth tour. She had spent the evening filming wildlife with her husband Prince Philip and a small group of companions under the vast African sky. At around 7 o'clock in the evening local time, a royal equerry approached the princess with grave news from London. King George VI had passed away peacefully in his sleep at Sandringham House, Norfolk, at the age of 56. The cause was listed as coronary thrombosis, but his health had been fragile for years following a lung cancer operation. The young princess, who had been laughing and relaxed moments earlier, suddenly became Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom. Prince Philip broke the news to her in private, and witnesses described the moment as one of profound stillness. She absorbed the information with remarkable composure, then asked for a few minutes alone before facing her staff. The transition was instantaneous and irreversible. 1 minute she was a princess on safari, the next she was sovereign of a vast commonwealth and empire. The news reached the world almost immediately, and newspapers across the globe carried black-bordered headlines. In Britain, the BBC interrupted regular programming to announce the King's death in a solemn broadcast. Flags were lowered to half-mast and theaters closed. As the nation entered a period of official mourning, for Elizabeth the change was more than symbolic. She returned to London as Queen on February 7, 1952. Stepping off the aircraft at Heathrow in black mourning clothes, a crowd of thousands waited in silence, many in tears, as she walked past them with quiet dignity. The coronation would not take place until June 2, 1953. But her reign began the instant her father died. Historians often describe this moment as the true beginning of the Elizabethan era, a period defined by continuity and change. The tragedy was sudden because George VI had appeared to be recovering well from his lung resection in 1951. Doctors had removed his left lung due to cancer, yet he insisted on continuing public duties. He even appeared on the balcony for the Trooping the Colour in June 1951, looking frail but determined. His Christmas broadcast that year was pre-recorded because his voice had been weakened by surgery. Few outside his inner circle realized how seriously ill he was. The King's death therefore stunned the nation and plunged the young Queen into an unforeseen burden. At 25, she was younger than most monarchs at accession, and had not expected to inherit the throne so soon. Her mother, Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, was devastated and retreated into deep mourning. Princess Margaret, the new Queen's only sibling, was equally shattered by the sudden loss of their father. The new Queen, however, showed extraordinary self-control. She immediately assumed the responsibilities of sovereignty, signing documents and meeting privy councillors. She chose to keep her father's regnal number, becoming Elizabeth II rather than Elizabeth I of the United Kingdom. This decision respected Scottish tradition. where she would have been Elizabeth I north of the border. The funeral of King George VI took place on February 15, 1952. At St. George's Chapel, Windsor, with full state honours. Millions lined the route as the coffin was carried from Westminster Hall to Windsor by train and road. Elizabeth walked behind the coffin with her mother's sister and other senior royals in a gesture of public grief. Her black veil and composed expression became iconic images, symbolizing both sorrow and unbreakable duty. The tragedy forced Elizabeth into what many historians call the New Elizabethan Era, a time of post-war renewal. Britain was still recovering from World War II, with rationing ending only months earlier in 1954. The young Queen represented hope, modernity, and a break from the austerity of the 1940s. Her coronation in 1953 was televised worldwide, bringing the monarchy into millions of living rooms. The event symbolized a new chapter for Britain and for the Commonwealth which she vowed to serve. The sudden loss of her father also shaped her personal style. She became known for her stoicism and emotional restraint, qualities she displayed throughout her long reign. Friends and courtiers often remarked on her ability to compartmentalize grief and carry on with duty. In private, however, she mourned deeply and kept her father's memory close throughout her life. She preserved his study at Sandringham exactly as he left it, and spoke of him with quiet affection in later years. The tragedy also accelerated her education in statecraft. She had been prepared for the throne in theory, but the sudden reality thrust her into active governance. Her first Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, became a mentor figure guiding her early steps. Churchill admired her poise and dedication, and the two developed a close professional bond. The new era also saw the beginning of decolonization, with independence granted to many Commonwealth nations. Elizabeth adapted to the changing role of the monarchy. From imperial sovereign to symbolic head of a family of nations, her accession marked the end of one royal generation and the beginning of the longest reign in British history. 70 years later, her death in September 2022 closed that Elizabethan era she had unintentionally begun. Looking back, the sudden, appalling and unexpected death of King George VI truly pushed Elizabeth II into a new era of responsibility, maturity and endurance. She was not prepared for the crown at that exact moment, yet she wore it with unwavering commitment until the end. The tragedy shaped her reign in profound ways, forcing a young woman to become a symbol of stability. It taught her the fragility of life and the permanence of duty, lessons she carried through every decade that followed. In speeches and writings, she often reflected on the burdens and privileges of her unexpected position. Her first Christmas broadcast in December 1952 set the tone for the rest of her reign. She spoke of service continuity and hope, promising to serve with all her heart and strength. Those words, delivered when she was still in mourning, became the foundation of her public philosophy. The king's death also strengthened family bonds. particularly with her mother and sister. Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, lived for another 50 years, becoming a pillar of support and a beloved public figure. Princess Margaret faced her own challenges, but remained close to her sister throughout. The tragedy reminded the world that even monarchs are vulnerable to the same sudden losses as ordinary people. It humanized the institution in a way few events had before. Elizabeth never publicly complained about her burden, but close friends knew the weight she carried from that night onward. She once confided that February 6, 1952, marked the moment childhood ended forever. From then on, every decision carried the weight of a nation and a vast commonwealth behind it. The new era she entered was one of constant adaptation. From the Suez Crisis to the digital age, through it all she remained the same calm figure who had absorbed the news of her father's death in a Kenyan treehouse under the African stars. That sudden, appalling and unexpected tragedy did not break her, it forged her into the Queen history would remember for 7 decades of service. It was the moment the crown passed unexpectedly, and the moment a new Elizabethan age truly